Welcome to The Intuitive Therapist with Janis R. Cohen, therapist, clairvoyant, empath, and medium. Listen in as she takes a no-nonsense deep dive into real human struggles and how to resolve them. Janis will share channeled information from her spirit guide team, as well as angels and archangels, to help you master your emotional, physical, financial, and spiritual destiny. And now, Janis R. Cohen.
Hey y'all, this is Janis Cohen, the Intuitive Therapist, here on the Intuitive Therapist podcast. Glad you're back listening. I'm just so loving the feedback I'm getting on my podcast, and just hit the 100th episode, I think a couple back, and almost 55,500 downloads. So I'm real pleased. People all over the world are finding me and enjoying me, and I'm so grateful. And thank you to everybody who is listening and subscribing and sharing the wisdom. I pull topics just kind of like sometimes out of the blue. Of course, I'm inspired. Of course, I get downloads. And of course, I get a lot of inspiration from my life and my clients. And today is no exception because I'm going to be talking about how to let go of control issues so that you can enjoy your life more. I know that there are people in my life, I have been at times, and known a lot of other people, including clients, who really try to control their lives as much as they can. And I think for most of us, in some way, to some degree, or to a great degree, the control setting is our default setting. We think we can manipulate enough of our schedules and the details of our lives so that we can bring about ease and peace. And in all honesty, like that type of thinking really doesn't work because, it's true that you can schedule appointments, set a time to leave for a trip, plan on that, pick out your outfit for the day, and plan with that has been a reality. All you're doing is making your suggestions to the universe about what you wish would happen. So it's really up to the universe about how well things go. And in all honesty, in my opinion, all the damn micromanagement, there's no way to have peace and ease because you're constantly worrying about details. So it really is like a double-edged sword. So I want you to think about that as I taught today. And the reality is that you have no control over what happens outside of you. Yep, you can be cautious. Yes, you can plan to the most minute detail, but the outcomes are completely out of your control, whether you believe it or not. I really have to tell you. You might be somebody who says, oh, Janis, that's not true. However I plan, it works out. Maybe 75% of the time, so I don't really buy into that. And guess what? That's your prerogative. But my opinion is outcomes are out of your control. I'm going to talk to you about that. So if you choose to accept that, you're really stepping in the right direction towards a peaceful and more fluid way of living versus the other way of trying to micromanage everything. So countless times I've attempted to coordinate my life. And on the flip side of those attempts, I am repeatedly reminded that I am not in the driver's seat of my life to a great extent. What I mean by that is while I would like all of the things that I want to happen, what ends up happening, y'all, is always what needs to happen for me so that I can travel the path that has been divinely guided and designed for me. So think about this. You ever had a flat tire when you're rushing to get somewhere? Ever had somebody cancel plans the last minute when you've scheduled your whole day around those plans? Have you ever been looking forward to something so much and then it doesn't happen, even though you've planned on it? Sucks, doesn't it? Yep. Our expectations about how life is supposed to be causes us to experience pain and disappointment. Comes down to that. We are so tied to how we believe things and people should be based on our rules about what we value that it makes us feel somewhat powerful in our ability to control an outcome. But I could tell you, that's just a farce. So here's the bottom line, y'all. You can only control 5 things in your life. Drum roll. Get ready. What you ingest and what you expel, and what you think, feel, and do. That's it. Nothing else. No schedule, no timeline, no situation or circumstance or person. Nothing external is within your in your control. If it happens to align with what you plan on, totally different thing. But you ain't got control outside of you. The fact that things happen to work out, like I said, is only because the universe has agreed to allow it to happen. How about them apples, y'all? Think about that for a moment. Those of you who are controlling and try to micromanage your life and everyone else's lives, here's the dealio, because I know people like this, and I laugh when I watch them because they micromanage everything, have to be in such control. Here's the deal. You struggle with anxiety. That's the root. You're anxious. And micromanaging anything means that your faith in what is meant to happen is very low. If you're controlling, you fear. You're in fear. That's what anxiety is. You're nervous. You're worried, right? You're in a fearful state about not only what might happen, but what might not happen. You're in fear. And this is the root of your need to control. There's so many of you who live a hypervigilant state now because of experiences you've had in the past, and you're in certain upbringings, and I get that. I deal with people all the time like that. My dad was like that. And y'all know I've talked about my dad's life, all the uncertainty with his father, who was an alcoholic, and the crap he went through, and how he really worked so hard to change his life, but he tried to micromanage so much. And unless and until you begin to hold on loosely to what happens in your life, you can keep your eye on the end goal, but hold on loosely. There's a 38 special song. Y'all, those are it who are in my generation, you'll understand and you'll know what that song is. Where you stop planning every last detail and hanging your emotional lifeline on the outcomes that you desire, you can't possibly enjoy your life in the now. Impossible. It's a conflict. You can't constantly be thinking about the future and be present. Impossible. You constantly can't be stuck in the past and be present. So every time you micromanage, you lose time in your life trying to control the future, which is not in your realm of control at all. It's a scary thought, isn't it? I mean, it scares me. I know when I've been anxious and fearful and fearing the worst, it sucks. It's just, I feel like I'm struggling and suffering. And until I'm able to pull back and step back and remember, you know what? I may really want something to happen, and especially in a particular way, at a particular time. And, not but, and I remind myself, girl, it's going to happen when it happens. So go live your life. But as you try to control other people or external circumstances, you only frustrate yourself and slow down your answered prayers. There are plenty of times that call you to take charge. I want you to listen to what I'm about to say. I'm going to repeat it. There are plenty of times that call on you to take charge. In other words, that beckon you, summon you. But that's different than you initiating taking charge on your own to manifest the details in the way that you want them to be. Have you ever heard of the saying, you plan and God laughs? Well, it couldn't apply more to this topic than ever, right? So I want you to be open to all possibilities and trust in Spirit's infinite wisdom and compassionate love for you. That what is meant to be will be, and that you can coordinate out your earlobes, and it won't make a hill of beans a difference unless it's meant for it to work out. If you fear that others and Spirit won't live up to your expectations, you will forever be fighting to control every single thing in your life. Does that make sense? Can you see how in different times in your life that makes sense? If you fear that others or spirit won't live up to your expectations about what you think needs to happen, about how you think things need to happen, okay? Then you will forever be fighting for control in everything in your life, and you will lose precious time experiencing life. This is also called outlining. When you hand the universe a script of how you want it and everyone to behave, and outlining could cause you to overlook an even more beautiful way in which your prayers may be answered. So you see, if you are constantly micromanaging and pushing for control, you miss all these beautiful hues and subtleties in your life that could make your life even more magnificent. So take a breath, sweetheart, and take some time to say this to yourself whenever you are all up in arms and nervous and worried about what's going to happen. Even if you're scared shitless about a test result a health test result, or an exam, an academic exam, or a relationship, or a business deal, or a decision on a house. Whatever, or a date, whatever it is, I want you to remind yourself of this. Say to yourself, no matter what happens, I will be fine. All outcomes that occur are meant to occur for me in divine timing and for the good of all involved. I now let go of my expectations, hopes, and desires regarding this issue. I'm going to say it again. No matter what happens, I will be fine. And I'm going to add, even if what happens isn't what I want to happen, I know it's in my best interest for it to happen. All outcomes that occur are meant to occur for me in divine timing and for the good of all involved. I now let go of my expectations, hopes, and desires regarding this issue. And then, my dear, let it go and go live your life. I hope this little short episode has helped any of you who are caught up in trying to strangle your life by being in control. There's nothing easy about it. Doesn't make your life more enjoyable or easy or sweet or good or fun. You cannot possibly have fun if you're constantly worrying about the next thing that's going to happen. So I hope that you will loosen the reins. I hope that you will take a breath. I hope that you will repeat those words that I just said to you, because I want you to be happy, and I want you to have fun in your life, and I want you to know about the bottom line, that what is meant to be will happen. And your job simply is to manage yourself and your emotions. How kind you are, how good you are, how hard you work, the kind of care you take care of your body, right? That's it. Be good to you, love you, manage you, not micromanage, but just manage. And I'm sending love to you, and I hope this allows you to take a breath and ease up on the stranglehold that you may have on your life, so that you can allow things to unfold naturally. I wish you a blessed day, a wonderful week, and as always, live intuitively. Feel free to stop by iTunes, hop on there, rate and review my podcast, leave a comment, write me if you have a topic that you'd like me to speak about, because people have done that and I've just loved it, because if you have an idea, somebody else is going to want to hear about it too. They can relate to it. And don't forget to hop over to my website, www.janisrcohen.com. Get that free report, 3 Forces to Change That Rule Your Life, and read it and enjoy it. Love ya.
Thanks for listening to The Intuitive Therapist with Janis R. Cohen. If you like what you heard, the best compliment you can give us is to share this podcast with a friend. and subscribe, rate, and review at iTunes.